Apple butter is one of the simplest things you can make with the bounty of apples this fall, and today I'm showing you exactly how to make it. But don't go anywhere, because I'm also going to show you 3 delicious ways to enjoy apple butter besides spreading it on toast. This recipe is so easy. It has thousands of 5-star reviews, and it's made in our slow cooker. You can use any variety of apples you want to make this apple butter. I'm using a variety of apples. I've got a mix of Honeycrisp, Gala, and Granny Smith's. You need about 5 pounds or so to get this recipe going, and I'm just going to peel and chop away. I don't mess with an apple core when I'm cutting apples. I peel them and then cut them off of the core. It's okay if a little skin is left on your apples, not the end of the world. We're going to end up pureeing this. This is the hardest part of the recipe, and it's not that hard. To that, I'm going to add a combination of white sugar and brown sugar. When your apples are in season, about 2 cups of sugar is all you're gonna need. If your apples aren't quite as sweet, you might need a little more sugar. You can just adjust to your taste. Now for the spices. I love this recipe from Chef John. It's a good bit of cinnamon, about 2 teaspoons. Just a little bit of allspice, and then some nutmeg. And just grate it right in. For just a little bit of tanginess, which I love in this recipe, is a little bit of apple cider vinegar. About 1/4 cup of the vinegar and a little splash of water. That extra moisture is gonna get those juices flowing in the apples. I'm gonna get these going on high for 1 to 2 hours, and then we'll cut it down to low for about 5 or 6 hours till it's all super soft. But we won't be done yet. I wish you could smell it. It's been about 6, 7 hours maybe. I've stirred it occasionally. You can tell it looks like a really thick, rich applesauce. But we're making apple butter. We need it super smooth so it's spreadable. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can achieve this same process in a food processor or even in a blender. I just gotta give it a taste, like a halfway taste. Oh, that's gonna be good. It's just a little bit too thin at this point. So now we are going to cook it for an additional few hours until it gets nice and thick and rich. We're gonna stir it occasionally so it doesn't just stick around the edges, so that it thickens up evenly. The time has come. The apple butter is done. Oh yeah, it's thick and rich. I'm gonna put it in some heat-proof jars, let it cool to room temperature, and then pop it in the fridge. These will keep in the fridge in jars with tight-fitting lids for about a month. You can also can them the old-fashioned way, and you can keep them in your pantry for up to a year. My absolute favorite way to enjoy apple butter is just on some buttered toast. Y'all, I could eat this every day with a hot cup of coffee. You got smooth, sweet apple butter next to slightly salty, crunchy bread. Perfect bite. As delicious as this is on its own, I'm gonna show you 3 great ways to use it other than breakfast. I'm gonna show you how to use this apple butter at dinner time with this apple butter glazed pork loin. So good. I've got my pork loin simply roasted in a little bit of apple juice with salt and pepper. Very simple. And now we're gonna create the glaze using the apple butter. Start with about 1/2 cup. I'm gonna add a little more brown sugar because I like that sweet and salty note. I'm also gonna add in a little more cinnamon and some cloves. I'm gonna thin out the consistency a little bit with some water so that it brushes over evenly our pork. This would also be great to add into a marinade for grilled chicken or pork. You could also just stir it into some barbecue sauce and serve that on the side. I'm gonna brush this over our hot pork and return it to the oven to finish cooking. Into the oven we go. This looks so good. Those sugars from the apple butter have caramelized on the outside, so it's rich and brown, and you just know it's gonna be good. This pork loin is a great alternative to your Thanksgiving turkey this year, just saying. You got that good flavorful crust on the outside, and you can just see how tender and juicy the pork is on the inside. Next, you can break out that apple butter at your next party. I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious cream cheese apple butter dip. Simply mix together cream cheese, apple butter, a little vanilla, and a little cinnamon. This would be even easier in a food processor. Yes, save the elbow grease. Do it in the food processor. This dip is like apple cheesecake in a bowl. I love to serve it with just some apple slices and some graham crackers. And finally, try adding apple butter to some of your baked goods. We've got a lot of great recipes for apple butter used in cakes, pies, and even cookies. This is a 5-star recipe called apple butter spice cake. Need I say more? I'm topping this with a little caramel sauce because caramel apples. Hello. If you're not following Allrecipes already, now's the time. From dinner to dessert, apple butter is a great way to add fall flavors to everything. When it comes to making the easiest apple butter ever, you can cook that. Perfect bite. Oh, what? Shaking.